Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today is what's in my kit day. So there isn't a particular day of the week that I signed up, but I did want to go ahead and share what's in my kit with you today. Before we get started, quickly, I'm Rita at Rita's Paper Motif. I like to create card designs, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects in hopes that it will inspire you to create and that you'll share your projects with those that matter in your life. So before we get to my kit, a couple things, and that is you can find tutorials of everything, pretty much everything that I share with you at ritaspapermotif.com. There are items occasionally that I do not share on any other platform, but I do share with my email subscribers. So if you'd like to totally be in the know with what's going on in my paper studio, I encourage you to subscribe to my newsletter. And you can do that simply by commenting on the website, and I'll add you. Right now, the website, the email list subscriber thing on my website doesn't work 100%. So if you just contact me, I'd be happy and sure to add you to that email list. Wow, I had a hard time with that one, didn't I? All right, so also I wanted to just make you aware, if you aren't already aware, that right now Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping. It is from yesterday, the 23rd of April, to the 25th, so the last day will be tomorrow. You can get free shipping on any order $75 or more. So this is really a wonderful offering, because shipping is sometimes can be quite high right now. And so if you're going to be ordering, say, that beautiful designer series paper or cardstock, now is a great time, because those are things that are heavy. And if you've been wanting to get maybe a cut and emboss machine or something that is a little bit heavier, now is the time, because you know what? You won't be paying for shipping. So it's a good thing to take advantage of these free shipping days, and so hopefully we'll have many more to come. We usually have one like every 3-4 months. But anyway, wanted you to know about that free shipping. And so while I'm getting my kit out, I did want to just quickly share that if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're watching here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you're watching on Facebook, then please follow me. In any case, I'm interested in any of the comments you want to share at the bottom. Keep them nice, and I would get back with you if there are any questions. All right, so this is a kit that we have in our lineup at Stampin' Up! And at my store. Now, these kits are offered or presented online because we have new ones that come in every month or so, and so that would be just too hard, actually impossible, to keep current in a catalog. So there are some kits that are projects, 3D projects. There are some kits that are stamping kits. So if it's a kit that involves stamping, then you're going to get the acrylic block that you put your stamp on. You'll get a sample, or you'll get a little stamp set, photopolymer stamp set. You'll get the ink spots, and then you can save them and use them on future projects. You can also add them to your inventory, which is a nice way to build up that inventory. All right, but let's see what's in my kit. So I waited to unpack my kit to do this in front of you. Most of the time I like to just go ahead and open them up and get started, because most of the time I like to add to those kits. So your kit always comes with all the supplies that you need to make the intended project. The only thing you may occasionally need to add, at least to the card kits, is maybe a pair of scissors, but not always do you need to do that even. So let's just go ahead and open it. So this nice plastic, I hate plastic, keeps everything all together, and at the bottom we find these instructions. Now what I really like about the instructions is that they're very clear. So on the front you'll see exactly the projects that you would be able to create here in this kit. And so it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most of the times you'll have like 3 designs and 3 cards you can make with each design or whatever, but this one is a little bit different. And so this is called the Essentials Occasions Kit, and it tells you right at the bottom. And these instructions or directions are illustrated in the form of an illustration. So whatever language is your language, then you still can follow these directions. On the back of your brochure, your direction brochure, you'll see what you should have in the kit. And it also will have a barcode that you can scan, and it'll take you directly to the video on showing you how to create the project. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll just like kind of put our stuff where we need it, so that when we need it, we know where it is. So in this kit, they're giving me some tear and tape. Now I have tear and tape in my online store. So you can see it's fairly thin, but this is double-sided tape, and it's great for like those 3D projects, because it really is a good adhesive, and it's strong, and it helps keep those things together. I don't usually use it a lot on the cards, but I do love it. And it's just easy and clean to use. When you peel it off, you can, put it on your project, and when you need to tear it, because it comes in this big long roll, then you can just do your thumbnail. All right, so we have tear and tape. That's going to be our adhesive. And let's see, I guess I'll put these here. So tear and tape to the side. And we have 2 cards. So this is kind of neat. This looks like some artwork that's been inked with a stencil or a template. You can see kind of like the white part. So I think this is very pretty, and those colors really go well together. And so then also we have another one that is, I believe that's grapefruit. I don't really like grapefruit. How many of you like grapefruit? And I'm measuring this layer, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. So we know, if you've been watching my measurement videos, that this is going to be a top layer somewhere on our card. All right, so we're going to put these right here, and then we have some of these like craft envelopes. So we have 6 of them, and so always when you have a card kit, you always get the card bases, you get the envelopes, and everything to decorate the front of your card. Like I said, I usually will use up my card kit and make it a little different, and I will extend the card kit. Today I'm not going to do that. I will embellish where I feel like embellishing, but my point of this video is to share with you how easily these kits can become a crafting project. Maybe you're on the go, you're on vacation on a plane, you're riding in a car, you're visiting somebody and you have some downtime, or maybe you just want a quick card to take with you somewhere or to mail out. So these are perfect. I like to keep kits on hand because they also make nice gifts. So for someone who doesn't craft, who doesn't paper craft every single day or several times a week, maybe they just occasionally paper craft, or you know what, sometimes a lot of us have started or do continue to craft on our dining room table. So something like a kit is easy because it's compact and everything is there and it's nice and neat, and you can do that. So anyway, here are the envelopes, and I'm going to put those to the side. And now we see here is a card base. So this is an A2 size card base. So it is 8.5, and then this is 5 1/4. And so we are going to fold these in a minute, but I'll just show you them for now. And here's another card base. What I like about this card base is you have that ombre or kind of layered feature on the front, and it's also on the back. So when you fold it, you could have this at the top, the lighter at the top, or if you turned it over, you could have the darker on the top. So that gives you a lot of choice right there. And then we have some things that we're going to be punching out. Now I'm thinking that I want to just not punch these out just yet. I want to get those card bases together. So here's another card base. I like the little print. It has like little cakes and presents and party hats and ice cream cones and balloons. So obviously this is themed for those birthday parties. So there's that. And then let's see what else we have. Then we have just a clear craft card. Let's see. Oh, we have 2 of them, sorry. So we'll put that right there. And then we have another craft card, but this one has like this foliage, these sprigs on here, and it looks like this is the craft white that was stamped on here with maybe a you know, a bigger stamp set. So that is pretty in itself. So let's see, do I have any more? So that's it for the card bases. So I want to put this kind of together so that I will have everything ready to go. So I'm going to, let's see, one of these is going to need this. So I'm looking at my directions and we can see that one is going to need that. We see that, let's see which other one. We see that this beautiful ombre one is going to be the one we're going to be using the grapefruit for on. And let's see here, we're going to cut out some, or we're going to punch out some other things because we have some more things that we're going to be using. So I'm sorry about that. So then we have this piece, and this piece is on craft paper. It has those nice white lines. So I know from the directions that this one is going to go on this card front. And I also see that this really cool punch out or cut out, die cut, is going to go on, let's see which card is going to go on, let me see here. It's going to go on this card right here. And this is kind of neat because it has like a little comb, and it's the 3 colors on there. Very nice. And then, let's see, I'm just kind of picking out all of these parts that we have here. And this, here's that. I should show you when I'm punching them. So sorry. So this part is this die cut is gonna go on this card. And then we have this card. So let's see what we're going to put on that in just a minute. I might have, I did. I'm pretty sure I did. So this one, this is why you want to sort them out, goes on here. This goes with these. So here are some grapefruits. This is why I like to punch them out and kind of sort them. unless I'm just going to be doing some, where I'm going to be using other products, then I don't always do that. All right, so this one has a sentiment, and that's what I like about this, is the sentiment strips come also, and it has a white sentiment strip that has a banner cut on both sides. And while we're here, let's just take out the English version of these sentiments. So thank you. And we can see that there are other languages. I know that this is French. And we all know what merci means, right? So this says a million thanks, basically. And then this is Dutch, danke. And so I believe that's probably German. But you know what? If that's not your language, don't throw these away. You could just flip them over and use them as sentiment strips. Or if you know somebody that speaks that language, then of course pass them on. Because you can use sentiment strips on all your cards, right? So I'm going to save them because I am probably going to stamp on them. And I know that you hear some motor stuff going on. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I think I don't know, but there's a lot of cars out in front of my house. So I'm so sorry. All right, so let's continue on. And so we're looking for the sentiment that's going to go there. And the instructions tell me, again, that it's thinking of you. So let's find the thinking of you. And here it is, right here. Right here. And so that's going to fit right on like that. So I think that it might be a good idea for us to go ahead and just create this card just so that we're done. And I'm going to be using, I know that they gave us tear and tape, and they also gave us a package of dimensionals. So I am going to go ahead and use my liquid glue for video purposes. So let's go ahead and put this card together, looking and seeing these directions. So I can open this up, and sometimes they are so simple you don't even really need to look at the directions, right? So let's just pull this down, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it, and I'm going to get my bone folder and just secure that down just like that. And then I see that this is going to go right on here like that. So let's go ahead and adhere it down. And you know, the beauty of this is that you could really put this anywhere. The directions show us, as you can see, it shows us that it should be like right here, but that's up to you. So you put it where you want to, and I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it right there. And then this piece is supposed to go up on dimensionals. And so let's go ahead and do that. Now our dimensionals are actually like foam dots. They are octagon shaped, and they do have just a wax paper on the top of them. And I usually don't take that off, but I did want to just show you. I don't take it off yet, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and just put this on. And I like to use, I use quite a bit of dimensionals just because I want to make sure when my card goes through the postal service that it's going to be just fine. And so I'm going to put my, and this is a little off from the directions because I see that this leaf is down further on the directions, but that's okay. It's my card. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put that fruit, or that slice of grapefruit, right on top there. And then I see that these in the directions, it does say to put tear and tape on the back here and dimensionals on here. So this is going to fit right over here. So if I put tear and tape over something that has dimensionals, then that's gonna seem kind of, well, I'd have to put it right here. So I can do that, but here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to, because I want to, I'm going to take a little bit of, well, I was thinking about the thread. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on top here, glue this down and put dimensionals on top there. That way, it's not going to be bulky over that piece of fruit. So let's go ahead and do that. Now here's the beauty of this kit. It is simple, that's for sure, but there's no stamping. So if you were traveling, once you complete the cards, then you're good to go, right? So I know on the directions it says you need 3 of these, and I will agree, because you have a big gap there and we want this, we don't want any dips in our card. So that is right. Now you can take, some people can take off this release paper on their dimensionals with their take a pick tool. I've never mastered that, but I have my thumbnails, right? All right, so let's just go ahead and put our sentiment right on here, and kind of, I'm gonna try and put it as much in the middle as I can. Let's see here. I'm trying to do this without getting my head in the camera view. Okay, so there I go. And then we can definitely add some kinds of gems or something to them. So let me see what I have. You know what? I have some of these left over in my stash. So I'm just going to take my take a pick tool that has the putty end, and I am, now these aren't in the kit, but I have them and I want to use them. This one is being stubborn. There we go. So I'm just going to put them, I'm just going to use them. And I didn't have to, because this card would still be nice without them, but I wanted to. So there, I just used some of my gems that, and again, it was not something that was in the kit. So I did kind of add something that was my own on here. All right, so that card is finished. Let's move on to the next card. So this card we're going to, this is our craft card, and it has the fruit on the front. And when we look at the directions of that card, we see that it's going to fold from the bottom up. So let's go ahead and fold our card. These come pre-scored, so that's a great thing too, right? If you had to score them, they wouldn't be ready to do, would they? And this craft seems to be a little thicker than the other card bases, so you really do want to use your bone folder. Now this is going to sit right here. It doesn't look like it's directional. Really, it doesn't look like it is. So let's go ahead. And this says to put dimensionals on it. So you could choose at this time if you want to put a dimensional, or if you just wanted to use your liquid glue. They give you a lot of dimensionals, so no worry. And I always have quite a few on hand because, you know, I love them. And they aren't expensive. They're very affordable. So I don't find that there's a reason to skimp on them. And I know that when our cards go to the post office, they go through that machine. And I don't want my card, after I spent time designing and planning, or if I used a kit and I spent time creating that card, I don't want it to get messed up. All right, so let's just go ahead and put this. Now I have to hold it up so I can see, because I want that. We talked about it in my class talking about measurements of cards and layers, and we want a border on our card. So this is off a little. Let me see if I can fix it. If you don't push down those dimensionals, you have a little time to maneuver if you need to. But that is what I like about the liquid glue, is you have a little more time. All right, that's secure. Now we can see from the directions that it wants this thank you that we found before, right? And then we're looking for a pretty peacock strip, because we're going to layer this. And this is a nice thing to do to your cards, because it just gives it just a really nice dimension and interest, right? So we can go ahead and, again, you could glue this down, or you could do dimensionals. I am going to glue this thank you onto the Lost Lagoon. So that's not Lost Lagoon. What did I say? Yep. Okay, so excuse me. So I'm going to glue that just like that. And now I'm bugged because I didn't, let's see here. Pretty peacock. Sorry, it's not Lost Lagoon. Anyway, so this is going to go right here as per directions. I had to check because I had to check. All right, so here we go. This is what we're creating. So if I do that, I know right now that even on dimensionals, I have nothing else on here, right? So what I decided I would do is just go ahead and take some twine, and it can be, you know, our twine, this is a 5-pack, so it could be any of those colors. I think this color might be really good on here. So let's go ahead and take it out. I was going to use white, but I'm now going to use this. And we call that linen. So let's see here. I'll just use that. I'm going to take a little bit of it, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's see, where is that beginning part? Here we go. So I'm just going to want to just wrap this around my fingers, because I just want just a little bit. So I'll cut it off. So this is basically what I'm using. It'll have to work because I've already cut it off. And we're going to put this thank you right here. We're going to put it on the dimensionals, right? But under that, I want just a little bit of twine. So I'm going to measure this as to where maybe I want my sentiment, and I'm going to take off that release paper. And then I'm just going to lay my twine just down like this. And so it's really, the twine is just kind of a freestyle there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on here. And that will give this sentiment strip some dimension as well. And then I won't have such a flat card. Now, obviously, if you don't have the twine, it's not a big deal. I'm just showing you some things you can do if you have them, and some things that if you have in your inventory, then when you want to use them, you can. So that's why I'm sharing them with you. Okay, let's see here. Then I'm going to put this thank you just right here. So it is going to cover up that dimensional. I want it straight here, so let's see. Okay, so now we have it straight. I'm going to cut this twine because I don't want it really hanging off. That looks just a little kind of messy. All right, so there's our second card. And yes, you could definitely put some bling on it. Sometimes some of us feel kind of like we like that bling. Let's see, I do have some, again, I have some, maybe not. Let me see, do I have something I really want to use? I don't know. We'll look and see. Sometimes you think it goes good and then you put it next to it and it doesn't match, right? And all of our ink and gems, they all coordinate together, so there would always be something that would match. I like this color again, so I'm going to use that. It's pretty much that same. It's a little lighter than what we used right here. A little lighter. Let's see. And I like to use an odd amount of like bling or embellishments like this, and that is because they say that it is more appealing to the eye. So there's a couple, so there's some bling I put on that. Now let's look at our next card. We'll move this. And so our next card we see is, are these directions right here. So we need this piece that's going to fit right here. And then we need a sentiment. So let's look for that one. It is going to be the one we find in English. And it's so glad to have you in my life. So we'll put that there. And again, here are some others, but like I said before, when you get these, if you can't use that language and you don't know that anybody else that could use them, just save them, because you can always use them on the back of your cards. You can stamp your sentiments. You can layer sentiment strips on them sometimes. You can just do all of that. All right. So I'm so glad to have you in my life is what that says. And there's a piece that we can see in the picture that has some like foliage. And I hadn't punched that out yet, but it's right here. And so let's go ahead and... Usually I have these all punched out, so I know, but guess I was a little frazzled today. All right, so let's just go ahead and put this. Is going to live like this and this like this. So that's going to look pretty. Let's start with our card, folding our card. Again, this is that craft card, and it is a little thicker than these card bases. I'm sure it's just the material. I'm actually going to maybe try and break those fibers a little more. Okay, and so for this one, I'm going to go ahead. This is supposed to be a portrait card base, and so we want it to be sitting nice and tall. And so there we go. And then this is going to fit on the card front right here, and you can turn it any way. The directions do have the pinkish up at the top, so we'll just do it that way. And I am going to use glue, and I'll tell you why. This card, like I said, this is a little heavier, and I want to be mindful of the postage. So I'll just put this right here, about oh, I don't know, what is that, maybe a third of the way down, a little less than that. Okay, and then we have this piece that is going to sit right here, and then our sentiment is going to live on top of it. And we can decide what we want to do. If we how we want to put the dimensionals, we can definitely decide that. You could put the dimensionals on both pieces. That's what the directions say. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere the sentiment right on here. Let's see. Right on here, just like that. And I am going to put dimensionals on this. And let's see. I could put them in the middle, but here's the thing. You definitely can put the dimensionals just in the middle and use 3, but I don't really want, I want to try and support the leaves here because I don't want them to get too bent or anything on my card. So let's see, I am going to cut this a little bit because I see a gap I don't want. So this isn't, what I'm doing right now is not on the directions because I'm the queen of dimensionals. So let's see here. We'll take off that release paper now. And I like to watch those ladies that can use their take a pick tool because they can really corral the release paper. So when I grow up, I want to be just like them. All right, and then we're going to just go ahead and put our sentiment so that it lives right here. And good, I got it kind of straight there. Okay, so there we go. We have our third card done. We'll bring those all out later. But now we're going to work on this card. And I know from the directions that it has a happy birthday that we're going to be looking for. It also has a layer that is that craft color. And that's where my sentiment is going to live as well. So I will tell you this, that sometimes if you have a wider border here, you can always make that like a frame, or you could cut this off, and now you have a frame that you can use on other cards, and this could just go on top of some white and you could stamp your sentiment. So I'm going to save this. This I'm not. Okay, so we're looking for happy birthday, and lo and behold, here it is. So these are so cute, these little sentiment strips, because they have this little edge that has like some little sparkle things, like if it were like fireworks, this would be like the sparks that come off, and that's going to sit right on here. So I am definitely going to keep these, and I can just turn them around and stamp my image because I have that beautiful edging around there. So for my kits, even though they have the different languages, which is wonderful because no matter what language you speak, you have the ability to create that card. There is very little that you need to waste. All right, so here, this card is going to be a portrait card again. And this comb is going to sit like this. It's going to have the craft right there and the happy birthday right there. So I like to put them all out like that. Now, excuse me. I see where on the craft part, they're using Terran tape. On the white part, they're using dimensionals. And so I really am going to do the very same thing that they just did. And on the this part, they're using dimensionals. I'm not going to use dimensionals because I want that comb part, this part, I want it laying down. But you could definitely, you know, just follow directions like you're supposed to, right? All right, so let's go ahead and fold this card. Now, if I were doing alternates with this kit, I would probably cut this up and I would have 2 card fronts. But I wanted to do this way so that you can see that it is all inclusive, and kits are a good way to just create those cards. I also want to tell you that sometimes if they're not a stamping card, a stamping kit, that they are less expensive than others. So there are some kits you could get for $14. And, you know, that is perfect because, you know, you could get a few and then you would have some stamping to do. Or I mean some crafting to do. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and adhere that right there. And so now my frilly part will lay. And then I'm going to take this and this, happy birthday, and I am going to glue this on the craft, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on there. Again, that's not what the directions say. The directions say to put the dimensionals on here. But it really doesn't matter. You're going to have dimension, and it's just a preference that you will make. And the directions are, these are beautiful cards. So if you follow the directions completely, then you'll have a beautiful card. And I'm going to put a dimensional on each corner, but I am going to put one in the middle just so it doesn't dip. And here we go. All right. We'll put happy birthday right here. And I wanted to use some of that white twine again. I really do. So I am going to do that same thing again. It never gets old for me. And I should have, let me see if I can get this up. I'm going to, and I'm just measuring where the middle is. That's what I'm doing so that I can put my twine. So, how easy is this, right? Now I have something that will just draw interest, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my happy birthday. Let's see, I have to hold it up. I'm so sorry. I'm also looking at the margin on both sides. Whoops. Yep, that's straight right there. And now I have another way cool card, right? And I've already added something that's different, so I don't need bling. You could add bling, you definitely could add bling, but I don't feel like I need it. But I do want to cut off this twine here. All right, so there's that card. And then we have another card here that we wanted to create. And this card is quite interesting because it has this little panel here. And this is going to be a landscape card. So it's going to open from the bottom to the top. Let's go ahead and secure that fold. And this is going to lay this way. And so you can see from the directions it's laying this way, and then it has a little, it looks like a spiral, a little, like a firework splashed out. So let's go find it. And here it is right here. So let's go ahead and take this out. And then also we know that this says congratulations. So I saw congratulations, so let's go ahead and get it right here. And now let's look at the back. This is cool. This would be a banner sentiment strip. So again, I'm going to tell you Don't waste these. Don't throw these away unless you just never want to craft again. But let's go ahead and save them because I do want to craft again. Anyway, this is a congratulations card. So that's, I think, the festive part. So it looks like some Starburst or, you know, something that definitely screams celebration. So I'm trying to get that fold. All right, so we're going to put this right down here, and the directions do indicate using tear and tape. I'm sorry, I have them upside down. Do indicate using tear and tape. I'm going to use glue again. And so, you know what? They always give you more tear and tape than what you will need, but that's great because you can save that. So you have one more thing to add to your inventory. But I'm going to go ahead and use glue, and I am going to use dimensionals on the rest of that. So let's go ahead and glue this down or adhere this down. And this gets adhered to the, sort of to the left. And I didn't cap my glue and put it upside down, so it's kind of was giving me an issue there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my little layer here. And this is also something that you can learn from kits. So when you do the kits, you can learn a lot about layering. So we don't always have to have a layer that encompasses the whole front of the card. It can be something that is just of interest like this. That brings interest to the card, right? It moves your eye. So your eye is not, so your eye has some wondering that it can do. And so that's a good thing. And then we're going to take this that says congratulations. And one thing that I just knew, I could tell when I was punching it out, is there's a little slit right here. And there's also a little slit right here in this banner. So that is where this is going to fit. And then we'll just put dimensionals on that. And so let's do that. So I'll just put a dimensional right. Let's see, this is the back of that banner. And I'm going to put one right here. Now let me see if I have it, kind of try to put it where I want it. I'm going to put a dimensional right here so it kind of attaches that circle plus the banner. I can feel it and see it. So we'll just put half. So half of that dimensional is between the circle and the banner. And we see another one right here. So I'm going to do that. Do you have to? Nope. You don't have to. You could omit this one and just put this one, or vice versa. But I don't want that circle to be moving around. And so I did, again, use way more circles than, or way more dimensionals than on the directions. You do what you feel is necessary. I do want that like that. And I did want to tell you that the dimensionals we have, these are the regular size dimensionals. We do have mini dimensionals, and we also have dimensionals that come in the color black, so that you could use them when you are adhering black cardstock or a dark designer series paper, so you don't see that white sticking out. Now this is going kind of at a slant because, you know, banners are not always straight, and that is also good when you have a lot of straight lines. It's nice to do something just a little different. And so here's where I'm putting mine. And I do have some bling that I wanted to use on this, and so I'm going to pull it out. And we're going to use these are like little sequins here. And I'm just going to put them all over. Sometimes I do have a rhyme or reason to where I'm putting them, and sometimes I just put them, whoop, got that one backwards, sorry. Sometimes I just put them wherever, just because. So I am kind of putting these around so that it brings attention to the sentiment. All right, so there we go. That's our next card, and then we have one more to do. So you can see that this is kind of quick, isn't it? And we're going to go ahead and secure that fold. And this card is going to be this card right here. So we know that it is a little bit simple in that it has just the sentiment and the card layer. And so you could, when you look at these directions, you can see if there's something you just really want to change. Sometimes I like to change them and sometimes I don't. And here's something I wanted to show you. It happens to the best of us. When you are cutting and scoring your card base, so this was the 8.5, and this was the 11-inch, and it was just cut in half. Sometimes when you score it, you'll have this little tiny lip. I think you can see it. Can you see it right here? So you want this lip, so you want the shorter side to be to the back of your card. You know, it could be the weight of the paper that causes that. It could be when you first cut it, you were on the line, and then when you scored it, you were a little off the line or over the line, and that can happen. So it's not a big deal. Most people would never know, but when you're touching your card, you're getting to know it a lot, right? So there you go. So we're going to be looking now for the sentiment that says, I love you. And that's really all that we have left in our kit. So we see that the U is right here. The I is right here. And we're going to go ahead and punch these out because we can. So this goes with these two. This is French, je t'aime. And so we're going to save those because I'll use the back. Love is right there. And let's see. We'll just punch these out too. Sometimes if these are too small, like I don't know if that's too small, but if I was cutting a leaf or maybe the middle of a flower, that would work for me. And so, you know, I try not to, I'm not implying that you can't ever throw anything away. You definitely can. But I try to use as much of what I can. It's like a challenge to see how I can use it. All right, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, this is how that's gonna go, right? And I'm thinking, do I need to do anything else? So it's gonna fit over to the side, love you. And I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna leave this alone, but I probably will add some bling. But for now, let's go ahead and work on this. So we see the directions tell us to use dimensionals on this layer right here, and then it tells us to use dimensionals on these. Since it is kind of simple, I am going to do exactly that. Let's use those dimensionals. All right. Now some card kits will come with adhesive that are like sticky dots, adhesive dots, and those lay flat. But obviously the dimensionals, you can tell by the name that they don't. Okay, so let's see. I'm putting more. This obviously doesn't have this many on there. So, you know, I don't want to be a broken record. Just when you see your directions, I don't want you to think that you have to do it this way. I like to do it this way. It's just a personal thing. But if you like to do it, if I've influenced you. All right, let's see here. And these little release dots, I find them kind of all over sometimes. When I've been crafting, like, you know, doing a lot of crafting, my dog will come in and want to visit, and then later I find them on him too. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just gently putting it there to make sure I have it straight and that I have that margin the same, as close to the same as I can. And I'm eyeballing it, so sometimes you can get off, but all right. And then I'm going to take, this has dimension, so I'm not sure if I want to put dimension. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I will. So because this is a small, this word I is so small, you really only need one. This is where the directions are right on, and it is going to fit. This is a portrait card, and this is going to fit so that the eye is just a little off of the layer and a little bit on to that craft. So just it's hanging off just a little bit. There we go. There's that. And then the word love, and that has by directions has 2, and you know it. I'm putting 3. And this is a quick kit, so you could do this in just maybe an evening, a little before dinner, after dinner. Looking to see if I love these colors together. I just really do like them. Okay, now we only have the U, and this is small, so I'm only going to use 2 dimensionals. Now we've made all of these cards, and we still have dimensionals left over. So I guess why I'm telling you this is I have never had a kit where I ran out. And you know I use them all. I use them a lot. So, so don't be afraid. Okay, so we're going to put you right here. Again, it's hanging off. And it's not, they're not very, oh, I'm going to see if I can move this. I'm hoping I can, because I put it down too low. It needs to be pretty close to the eye. And that's because we want continuation. When we're looking at something, we want continuation. So it was a little too low in my estimation. And so the same with the U. We want it fairly close. Whoops, that's not even straight. I'm going to move this one down if I can. Sometimes that dimensional will have stuck and you are doomed. It's where it's going to stay. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to rub this off. You can usually rub off your dimensional, and I'm going to put another one. Because I have lotion on my hands, it kind of did make that sticky dot lose it a little bit of stickiness. Okay. There we go. All right, so there is our last card. Let's bring them all out. And what I had left over in my kit is all of this tear and tape, but I didn't use it at all, and that was a personal choice. And I had these dimensionals left over. And then I had all the sentiment strips in different languages that I'll use. If you don't want to save them, then you can definitely toss them. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is to die for. So I am definitely keeping that. But this is, otherwise this would be the only thing I would have left over. All right, so here we go. And then we have those envelopes that are there if we want to use them. So it's up to, and your kit always comes with a tag board. That is to sturdy the packet that's wrapped in cellophane. But you can also use this if this was a stamping kit. You could use this to practice your stamping. All right, I'm just putting it away, and here's our envelopes. And when I'm ready to mail them, that will the card will go in the envelope. All right, so let's look at these one last time. Now again, this is called the Essentials kit, Essential Occasion Kits. And so we have a congratulations, we have a I love you, a happy birthday, a thank you, so glad you're in my life and thinking of you. That's an all occasion assortment, and that is, everything was there. So just with a little folding and putting together, there you go. So 6 cards, all very attractive. And you can find that All Essentials kit in my online store, and I do appreciate your business. And again, just as a reminder, please consider subscribing to my channel, and definitely those thumbs up are coveted. So have a good weekend, and thank you for joining me. Bye now.